Good day, grade 10 learners. We are now on the third week of our online discussion in Mathematics 10. How were the first 2 weeks of your online classes? Are you able to cope up? Have you done all your tasks for each week? I hope you are doing good and keep it up. Let's have a short recap of our topic last week. We have studied lesson 2, which is about geometric sequence. You have learned that it is a type of sequence in which the succeeding term is obtained by multiplying the preceding term by a fixed number, which is called the common ratio. You also learned and performed how to use the formula for finding the common ratio and determining the nth term of a given geometric sequence without computing the previous terms. For this week, we are going to discuss lesson 3, which is about geometric series. But before we proceed to the proper discussion of our lesson for this week, let's talk about the learning competencies. Here are the most essential learning competencies or lesson objectives you need to achieve at the end of this week. Number 1, determine geometric means, nth term of a geometric sequence, and sum of the terms of a given finite or infinite geometric sequence. Grab your book for the first quarter and open it on page 183, then let's start. What is a geometric series? A geometric series is the sum of terms of a geometric sequence. There are two types of a geometric series. The first one is a finite geometric series has a finite number of terms and a general formula of a sub 1 plus a sub 1 times r plus a sub 1 times r squared plus a sub 1 times r cubed plus so on and so forth plus a sub 1 times r raised to n. Second type, an infinite geometric series has infinite number of terms and a general formula of a sub 1 plus a sub 1 times r plus a sub 1 times r squared plus a sub 1 times r raised to 3 plus so on and so forth. An infinite geometric sequence class, it means it has a limit. Kasi nga finite lang siya. For example, we have 2, 4, 8, 16. That is the only elements or terms of the given finite geometric series or finite geometric sequence. Meron lang siyang limit. So for example, in the general formula, if you notice, meron tayong part na may ellipsis pero it doesn't mean na infinite siya. It only means na may mga terms pa sa loob or in between ng a sub 1 times r cubed and a sub 1 times r raised to n. Then, ang ibig sabihin naman dito, class ng a sub 1 times r raised to n, it means nakadepende sa given problem or given geometric sequence kung hanggat ilang terms siya. Okay? Again, pag sinabing finite, meron siyang limit. Pag sinabi naman natin infinite geometric series, it has an infinite number of terms or based from the word infinite, unlimited siya or endless. For example, in this general formula niya ng infinite geometric series, we have here plus so on and so forth. It means infinity. Hindi natin alam or alam natin na wala siyang ending. Pero pwede siyang ma-solve. So later na lang kung ano yung formula ng finite geometric series at formula para kay infinite geometric series. Let's continue. Okay, the first type, finite geometric series. The formula in determining the partial sum of the first n terms denoted by s of n in a finite geometric series is s of n is equals to a sub 1 minus a sub 1 times r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. R is not equal to 1. So this one class is the first formula. Again, this is the first formula. Pag sinabi kong first formula, meron pang pangalawang formula para kay finite geometric sequence. Again, this formula is only applicable for the finite geometric sequence. And pag ginamit natin tong formula na to, class, ang makukuha lang natin is the partial sum of the first n terms. Nakadepende. For example, pag sinabi natin, find the sum or find the geometric series of the first 5 terms. It means yung partial sum lang ng first 5 terms ng ating finite geometric sequence yung ating hahanapin or kukunin. Yan yung meaning ng partial sum. Hindi yung total talaga ng buong series. Pero depende, pwede din na kunin natin yung buo. For example, there are 10 terms sa ating geometric series. So, kunin natin yung sum ng 10 terms of the geometric series or finite geometric series. So, pwede natin siyang solve gamit yung formula. Okay, in the second formula naman, class, factoring out a sub 1, the formula can also be written as s of n is equals to a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. R is not equal to 1. So, itong second formula, class, galing din siya dito sa first formula. Yung pinagkaiba lang kasi, finactor out natin sa a sub 1. By factoring a sub 1, ito yung magiging kalabasan niya. So, dahil galing lang siya dito nga, class, if you follow the right step, tama yung pag-solve nyo, yung magiging result ng first and ng second formula will be just the same. So, it means, pwede nyo gamitin yung first formula lang or yung second formula lang. Nakadepende sa inyo kung asan yung mas prefer nyo or yung mas much easier to use, yung easier para sa inyo. Now, we are going to apply the two formulas in example 1 in determining the partial sum of the first n terms in a finite geometric sequence. So, gagamitin natin sa example number 1 yung two formulas for finding the partial sum of a finite geometric sequence or finite geometric series. So, let's try. Let's solve a finite geometric sequence by using the two formulas. Example number 1, find the sum of the first 4 terms of the sequence. So, 5, 20, 80, 320. So, kukunin natin yung first 4 terms, the sum of the first 4 terms. So, first formula yung gagamitin sa solution. First step, let's find the ratio. So, to find the ratio, class, again, the formula for finding the ratio is R is equals to A sub n divided by A sub n minus 1. Or specifically, A sub n is equals to the preceding term, or succeeding term divided by the preceding term. So, yung mangyayari dito, class, kailangan lang natin pumili ng dalawang terms dito sa sequence na consecutive. So, we choose 5 and 20. So, 5 is the A sub 1 and A sub 2 is 20. So, succeeding term siya. Then, yung formula, customize na natin. Ratio is equals to A sub 2 divided by A sub 1. Then, substitute the values. So, the result will be ratio is equals to 20 divided by 5. Divide the two numbers. So, the common ratio is equals to 4. After finding the common ratio, the second step will be, let's find the geometric series. Specifically, the S of 4. So, bakit ba siya S of 4? Kasi yung kailangan lang natin na sum ng geometric series or partial sum is the sum of the first 4 terms. Kaya naging S of 4 siya. From the word first 4 terms. So, una, ito yung hahanapin natin. What is missing? The S of 4. Then, the given. So, the A sub 1, kailangan natin si A sub 1 sa formula. Kailangan natin yung given niya. So, A sub 1 is equals to 5. Then, the ratio, yung sinolve natin sa first step. So, the ratio is equals to 4. Then, the volume n, saan ba galing yung volume n? Nakadepende yan dito sa problem. Ano bang partial sum or sum yung kailangan natin kunin? So, the first 4 terms, it means n is equals to 4. Or pwede din dito nyo siya basehan sa S of 4. Kung ano yung n ng S of n natin. So, anong nangyari dito? Naging S of 4. So, yung n natin is equals to 4. Then, after makuha yung given, let's copy the first formula. Again, the first formula is S of n is equal to A sub 1 minus A sub 1 times R raised to n divided by 1 minus R. After copying the formula, let's substitute the values. So, it will become S of 4 is equals to 5 minus 5 times 4 raised to 4 divided by 1 minus 4. The next one, una i-apply natin yung PEMDAS rule for the numerator. Let's solve first the number or the term with an exponent. So 4 raised to 4, the answer is 256. Then, for the divisor naman sa denominator, let's just perform the operation. 1 minus 4, the answer is negative 3. The next one, multiplication. So, 5 times 256. So, the result will be S of 4 is equals to 5 minus 1,280 divided by negative 3. Then, minus na lang natin yung numerator. So, S of 4 is equals to negative 1,275 divided by negative 3. Then, divide the two numbers. The result will be positive 425. So, the sum of the first four terms is 425. So, ito yung solution step-by-step process for using the first formula for finding the partial sum of a finite geometric series / sequence. Now, let's try again the same example problem, example 1, and we're going to use the second formula. So, dapat yung kalabasan dito, class, is just the same sa result na nakuha natin kay first formula. So, first step, let's find the ratio. So, the same values, the a sub 1 and the a sub 2. So, a sub 1 is equal to 5, a sub 2 is equal to 20, ratio is equal to a sub 2 divided by a sub 1. Substitute the values, ratio is equal to 20 divided by 5. So, the common ratio is equal to 4. The next one, let's find the s of 4. So, the same, let's find the given. We need the missing s of 4 is equals to question mark. Then, a sub 1 is equals to 5. Ratio or the common ratio is equals to 4. Then, the n is equals to 4. Copy the second formula. So, the second formula is s of n is equals to a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. Then, substitute the values. So, it will be s of 4 is equals to 5 times 1 minus 4 raised to 4 divided by 1 minus 4. The same method, solve natin yung numerator following the PEMDAS rule and the denominator. So, the result will be 4 raised to 4. The answer is 256. So, 1 minus 256 divided by negative 3. Bakit ba negative 3? From 1 minus 4. Then, i-perform ulit. So, 1 minus 256, the answer is negative 255 divided by negative 3. So, yung next line ng solution natin, s of 4 is equals to 5 times negative 255 divided by negative 3. Then, divide natin yung value sa loob ng parentheses. The result will be s of 4 is equal to 5 times negative 255. So, the answer is negative 1,275 divided by negative 3. So, the result will be S of 4 is equals to positive 425. So, it means, class, either of the two formula yung gamitan natin, we are going to arrive to the same answers. But be sure that you follow the proper step-by-step and tama yung pag-solve. Be careful, class, i-apply natin yung PEMDAS rule para hindi kayo mamali sa pag-answer. So, my question for now is, which of the two formulas ba yung mas prefer nyo? Which of the two? Is it the first formula or the second formula? And again, class, these two formulas is only applicable for a finite geometric sequence or a finite geometric series. Hindi pa to para kay infinite. Kasi si infinite, class, may sarili siyang formula. Again, tandaan, yung first formula na ginamit natin at second formula is only for a finite geometric series or sequence. So, it's your time to make your choice kung which of the two ba yung gagamitin nyo, si first formula or second formula. Then, before we proceed to the second example, let me give you the suggested steps on how to determine the geometric series of a finite geometric sequence. So, ito yung suggested steps. Kung tingnan nyo yung books nyo, class, wala siyang step-by-step process na naka-specify. So, in my own initiative, gumawa ako ng suggested steps. So, pwede nyo siyang i-follow or i-follow nyo yung sa book. Pero the same lang naman. So, this is the step number 1. Let's find the ratio. So, una-una talaga yung hinahanap commonly dito is yung ratio. Yung unang isa-solve. Pero there are times or sometimes, it is the a sub 1 yung missing. So, bakit ba si ratio or si a sub 1 yung missing? Kasi yung class, yung a sub 1 at yung ratio, if you notice yung formula natin, either of the two formulas, kailangan natin yung value ng a sub 1 at ni ratio. Pag si ratio yung missing, si a sub 1 given. Pag si a sub 1 yung missing, si ratio given. Hindi pwedeng mawala yung dalawang values. So, commonly talaga, based on most of the examples here in your books, and yung example na nandito sa presentation ko, yung missing talaga una, si ratio. Pero ay dito diyan sa book nyo at dito sa presentation ko, gumawa ako ng situation wherein si A sub 1 yung missing. At least meron kayong example. In case sa pagdating sa problem, merong ganitong problem na A sub 1 agad yung missing, alam nyo yung step by step process na gagawin nyo. Okay, let's continue. Na step number 2. Identify the given which is needed for finding the S of n. So, ano ba yung given na kailangan para mahanap yung geometric series or the partial sum of a finite geometric sequence? So, we just need the value of the A sub 1, the common ratio, and the n of the n term. So, yan yung 3 terms na kailangan natin. Pag meron na tayo ng 3 terms, pwede na natin i-copy yung formula of the geometric series. So, it's either the first formula or the second formula. Then we are going to substitute the value of the given to the formula. Then after that, solve na. And simplify yung final answer if necessary. So after nyo mag-solve, pagdating nyo sa final answer, kung pwede pa siyang masimplify, isimplify nyo. Kasi commonly sa math, pag nagsosolve tayo sa math, as long na pwede pa siyang masimplify, isimplify natin. Kasi yan yung pinaka-final answer. Again, for step number 1, find the ratio, but sometimes it is the first term or the A sub 1 that is missing. Step number 2, identify the given which is needed for finding the geometric series or the partial sum of a finite geometric sequence, the values of A sub 1, the common ratio, and the n of the n term. Step number 3, copy the formula of the geometric series, either the first or the second formula, then substitute the value of the given to the formula, and lastly, the step number 4, solve and simplify. Simplify if necessary. So let's continue. Here is the example number 2. For example number 2, we are going to determine the sum of the first 7 terms of the sequence 3, 9, 27, 81, and so on and so forth. So kukunin lang natin yung first partial sum ng first 7 terms ng sequence na 3, 9, 27, 81. So, for this given class, given na si A sub 1, it means yung muna natin hahanapin is si ratio. So, let's find the ratio. In finding the ratio, we are just going to choose 2 consecutive numbers or terms in the sequence. So, yung common na ginagamit natin is the value of A sub 1 and A sub 2. But for this example class, para maging aware nga kayo, ginamit ko si A sub 2 at si A sub 3. So, consecutive term siya. So, A sub 2 is equals to 9. A sub 3 is equals to 27. Then ratio is equals to A sub 3 divided by A sub 2. Then substitute the values. So it will become ratio is equals to 27 divided by 9. So the common ratio is equal to positive 3. Then after finding the common ratio, let's find the partial sum of the first 7 terms or the S of 7. So S of 7 is equals to blank or question mark. Siya yung missing natin. Then let's find the value of A sub 1. So A sub 1 is equals to 3. The common ratio na sinolve pa lang natin, ratio is equals to 3. Then the n is equals to 7 kasi kailangan natin the sum of the first 7 terms. Kaya n is equals to 7. After finding the given, let's copy the formula. For this one, yung ginamit ko dito sa mga examples ko class, yung second formula. Kasi mas simpler si second formula. So, S of n is equals to A sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. Then, yung sunod na gagawin, substitute the value. So, it will be S of 7 is equals to 3 times 1 minus 3 raised to 7 divided by 1 minus 3. Apply the PEMDAS rule. So, for the numerator, isolve muna natin yung mga exponent. So, it will become 3 times 1 minus 2,187 divided by 1 minus 3 equal to negative 2. Then, after that, i-minus na natin yung 2 terms sa numerator. So, it will be S of 7 is equals to 3 times negative 2,186 divided by negative 2. Then, i-multiply natin yung 3 sa numerator na negative 2,186. So, S of 7 is equals to negative 6,558 divided by negative 2. The answer is positive 3,279. The sum of the first 7 terms is 3,279. So let's try another one. So for example number 3, we have here a different problem from the rest. Ito na yung part na sinabi ko sa inyo na bibigyan ko kayo ng example wherein yung missing is the a sub 1. Yun yung una nating hanapin sa first step. So let's read the problem. The second term of a geometric sequence is 12 and the common ratio is -2. What is the sum of the first 10 terms of the sequence? So let's analyze first the problem. So yung given dito class is the second term which is 12 and the common ratio natin which is equal to -2. Pwede na ba nating hanapin yung sum of the first 10 terms with just these two given? So based from the formula, again, yung kailangan nating given para mahanap yung sum or the partial sum of the first 10 terms, we need the value of the ratio, the n, okay, meron tayong ratio, meron na tayong n, pero wala tayong a sub 1 kasi yung given lang sa problem is the second term. So hindi naman pwede na sa second term yung gamitan natin. So yung first step again, let's find the a sub 1 or the value of the first term. To find the value of the first term, we are going to use the given dito sa problem na second term at yung common ratio. So, bago tayo mag-solve talaga para makuha si first term, I am going to show you paano ba yung parang customize ng formula. Wherein, hindi mo naman talaga kailangan siyang i-customize specifically. Kailangan mo na lang i-change or transpose yung formula para makuha mo yung pinaka-the best na formula para mahanap si a sub 1. So, saan ba natin galing yung formula? So, yung formula dito rin siya galing sa original formula. So, common ratio is equals to a sub 2 divided by a sub 1. Again, yung missing natin is a sub 1. So, yung gagawin natin para makuha yung specific formula for this one. So, ratio class understood siya na meron siyang denominator na 1. So, r divided by 1 is equals to a sub 2 divided by a sub 1. The next nyo yung gagawin, cross multiplication. So, r times a sub 1, the answer is r times a sub 1. Then, 1 times a sub 2, the answer is a sub 2. Then, after this one, divide both sides by the ratio. Para yung remaining sa left side lang si a sub 1. So, times a sub 1 divided by r is equals to a sub 2 divided by r. So, makakancel out class yung common ratio sa left side. So, matitira na lang is si a sub 1 is equals to a sub 2 divided by r. So, this is the formula we are going to use for finding the a sub 1. Pero it doesn't mean kailangan nyo pang i-perform yung these steps or this solution. Ipakita. Pwedeng i-memorize nyo to. Pero paano kung naging a sub 3, a sub 4, pwede kayong malito. So, pwede rin gamitin nyo na lang mismo yung original formula. Actually, pinakita ko na sa inyo kung paano to gawin. Or nung grade 9 kasi kayo, di ba tinuruan ko kayo ng derivatives? Yung inverse, direct, joint, yung mga yun lang yung i-apply nyo dito. So, let's continue. So, again, ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. A sub 1 is equals to a sub 2 divided by r. Then, let's get the given. So, a sub 2 is equals to 12. Then, the common ratio is equals to -2. Then, the missing is the a sub 1. Substitute the values. So, the a sub 1 is equals to 12 divided by -2. So, a sub 1 is equals to -6. So, the first term is -6. Dahil nakuha na natin si a sub 1, meron na tayong common ratio, may value na tayo na n, we can already find the sum of the first 10 terms. So, let's find the S of 10. So, guys, S of 10 yan dyan. Hindi ko na naman na-edit. So, let's find the S of 10. So, to find the S of 10, we need to find the given. So, A sub 1 is equals to -6. Common ratio is equals to -2. Then, the N is equals to 10. Then, after that, let's copy the second formula. So, S of N is equals to a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. Then substitute the values. So S of n is equals to -6 times 1 minus -2 raised to 10 divided by 1 minus -2. So S of 10 is equals to -6 times 1 minus 1024 divided by 3. Then S sub 10 is equals to negative 6 times negative 1023 divided by 3. So S sub 10 is equals to 6,138 divided by 3. The answer is 2,046. So the sum of the first 10 terms of the sequence is 2,046. For the cases class, kung sakali man dun sa pinasagpapasagutan ko sa inyong problem, may case na ganito na sa A sub 1 yung missing, ito lang yung magiging basis yung sa example 3. At yung example nandyan sa books nyo. So let's continue. Okay, the next one, we are already done talking about, discussing, solving, and answering examples for the finite geometric series. Now, we are going to focus on the infinite geometric series. So, hindi ko nalagay yung infinite dito. So, again, yung topic natin na sunod is the infinite geometric series. So, the formula in determining the sum of an infinite geometric sequence, denoted by S infinity, can be solved using this formula. S infinity is equals to A sub 1 divided by 1 minus R, where the absolute value of R should be less than or is less than 1. So, if you notice class, kung kanina sa kay finite geometric series, meron tayo ditong S of n. So, yung dinidenote class na n, it means meron siyang limit lang. Pero kay geometric series class, if you notice, infinity. Kasi nga, infinite siya. So, hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung limit na kailangan, partial sum na limit lang yung isosolve natin. Kaya meron tayong specify dito na infinite. This one class, yung parang 8 na pa-horizontal, in meaning niya in infinity. Okay? So, S infinity is equal to A sub 1 divided by 1 minus R. So, dalawa lang yung kailangan natin ditong values, the values of the A sub 1 and the value of the common ratio. Also, pakitandaan ng condition para sa paggamit ng formula, yung absolute value dapat ng R natin is less than 1. Hindi pwedeng maging, for example, we have, it means pwedeng maging negative yung divisor natin. Basta, as long na yung absolute value niyan is less than 1. So, let's try. Para mas madali nyo siyang maintindihan. So, example number 4. Let's determine the sum of the infinite geometric sequence 1 half plus 1/4 plus 1/8 plus so on and so forth. So, the solution is, first step, let's find the common ratio. So, for finding the common ratio, we are going to use the first and the second term. So, the first term is equals to 1 half. The second term is equal to 1/4. Ratio is equals to A sub 2 divided by A sub 1. So, the common ratio is equals to 1/4 divided by 1 half. So, again, class, pag nagsosolve tayo or nagdi-divide tayo ng both fractions, mahirap siya pag nasa vertical form. So, yung ginawa ko dito, change ko siya into horizontal form. So, 1/4 divided by 1 half. Then, let's apply the properties of dividing fractions. So, it will be, a ratio is equals to 1/4 times, so yung division natin magiging multiplication, then yung 1 half natin find the reciprocal ng divisor. So, magiging 2/1. That is the division rule for multiplying fractions. So, 1/4 times 2/1. So, 1 times 2, the answer is 2. 4 times 1, the answer is 4. So, 2/4. Then, dito na papasok yung sinabi ko kanina na solve and simplify if necessary. So, 2/4 or 2/4 can still be simplified. So, yung simplest form niya is 1 half. Kasi yung 2 and 4, meron siyang LCD, which is 2. So, 2 divided by 2, the answer is 1. 4 divided by 2, the answer is 2. So, the final answer is 1 half. So, the common ratio is equals to 1 half. The second step now, let's find the sum of the infinite geometric sequence. So, S infinity. So, to find the S infinity, we need the value of the first term or the A sub 1, which is equal to 1 half. And the common ratio, which is equal to 1 half. Then, copy the formula. So, S infinity is equals to A sub 1 divided by 1 minus R. Substitute the values. So, the S infinity is equals to 1 half divided by 1 minus 1 half. So, una natin ditong gagawin, class E, kasi si numerator nakasimplify na, so si denominator, i-subtract lang natin. So, the answer will be S infinity is equals to 1 half divided by 1 half. Dahil same lang si numerator at denominator, it means the answer or the quotient is S infinity is equals to 1. So the answer for example number 4 is, or the sum of the infinite geometric series, 1 half, 1 fourth plus 1 eighth plus so on and so forth is 1. Let's try another example. For example number 5. Determine the sum of the infinite geometric sequence 20 plus 10 plus 5 plus so on and so forth. So the solution, the same step. Let's find the common ratio. To find the common ratio, let's use the first and the second term. So a sub 1 is equals to 20, a sub 2 is equals to 10. Ratio is equals to a sub 2 divided by a sub 1. Substitute the values. Ratio is equals to 10 divided by 20. So ratio is equals to 1 half. Second step, let's now find the sum of the infinite geometric sequence or S infinity. So we need the first term and the ratio. So the first term is equals to 20, the ratio is equals to 1 half. Then copy the formula, substitute the values. So S of infinity is equals to 20 divided by 1 minus 1 half. S infinity is equals to 20 divided by 1 half. S infinity is equals to 40. So the sum of the infinite geometric sequence 20 plus 10 plus 5 plus so on and so forth is positive 40 or 40. Okay, last example, we have your example number 6. So for example number 6, ginawa ko siyang medyo complicated. Kasi binis ko siya dun sa mga problem na ibibigay ko later on sa activities. Kung nag-advance reading na kayo sa book, napansin nyo may pattern na ganito. Negative, positive, negative, positive, or positive, negative, positive, negative. So this example number 6 will be your basis for determining the sum of the infinite geometric sequence wherein yung situation natin is just like this one. Negative 1/5 plus 1 over 20 minus 1 over 80 plus so on and so forth. So the same step pa rin, let's find the ratio or the common ratio. So we are going to use here again the first and the second term. So the first term is equal to negative 1/5. The second term is equals to 1 over 20. So ratio is equals to a sub 2 divided by a sub 1. Substitute na natin agad. Ratio is equals to 1 over 20 divided by negative 1/5. Para nga easier yung pag-solve, i-change natin siya into horizontal form. So ratio is equals to 1 over 20 divided by negative 1/5. So apply natin yung division rule. So yung division magiging multiplication siya. So copy lang natin yung 1 over 20 times the reciprocal of the divisor. So negative 1/5. Yung reciprocal niya is negative 5 over 1. After that one, i-apply na natin yung multiplication rule, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So 1 times negative 5, the answer is negative 5. 20 times 1, the answer is 20. So negative 5 over 20, pwede pa siyang masimplify. So the simplified form is negative 1/4. So the common ratio is negative 1/4. Second step, let's now find the S infinity. So for finding the S infinity, we need the value of the first term and the ratio. So the first term is equals to negative 1/5 and the ratio is equals to negative 1/4. Let's copy the formula. Substitute the value. So negative 1/5 divided by 1 minus 1/4. So 1 minus 1/4. So based from the definition of subtraction, ang mangyayari dito 1, then yung minus magiging addition, then yung second term natin, mag-change siya ng sign. From negative, magiging positive 1/4. Pero kung positive siya, magiging negative 1/4 siya dito. So magiging 1 plus 1/4. So S infinity is equals to negative 1/5 divided by 5 over 4. Bakit ba siya naging 5 over 4? Kasi 1 plus 1/4, the answer is 1 and 1/4. Or change natin to improper fraction, magiging 5 over 4. Or pwede ding hanapin muna natin yung GCF ni 1 and 1/4. So ipa-show ko lang dito. So i-erase ko na lang later. Para review na din to kung how to solve a fraction. So 1 plus 1/4, si 1 kasi class, understood natin na may denominator na 1. Yung whole number, any whole number, may denominator siya na 1 pag i-change sa fraction. So yung GCF ni 1 and 1/4 is 4. Hindi siya GCF, LCD pala, LCD. So 4 divided by 1 times 1, the answer is 4. Plus, copy lang natin yung sign dito in between, so plus siya. 4 divided by 4, the answer is 1. 1 times 1, the answer is 1. So 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. Kaya yung kalabasan niya, 5 over 4. So i-erase ko na siya. Wait lang class ha. Okay, let's continue. So S infinity is equals to negative 1/5 divided by 5 over 4. For much easier solving, i-change natin siya into horizontal form. So negative 1/5 divided by 5 over 4. Apply the division rule. So it will be change it to multiplication. Copy the first term, negative 1/5. Change the division to multiplication. Then find the reciprocal of the second term or the divisor. So 5/4 magiging 4 over 5. So negative 1/5 times 4 over 5 or 4/5. Then apply the multiplication rule. So 1 times 4, the answer is 4. Negative 1 times 4, the answer is negative 4. 5 times 5, the answer is 25. So negative 4 over 25. Negative 4 over 25 is already on the simplest form. So the sum of the infinite geometric sequence, negative 1/5 plus 1 over 20 minus 1 over 80 plus so on and so forth is negative 4 over 25. So that's all for the example for finding the sum of an infinite geometric sequence. So let's continue on the let's remember. So let's remember class, a geometric series is the sum of the terms of a geometric sequence. A finite geometric series has a finite number of terms. The general formula is a sub 1 plus a sub 1 times r plus a sub 1 times r squared plus a sub 1 times r cubed plus so on and so forth plus a sub 1 times r raised to n. An infinite geometric series has infinite number of terms. The general formula is a sub 1 plus a sub 1 times r plus a sub 1 times r squared plus a sub 1 times r cubed plus so on and so forth. The partial sum of the first n terms of a finite geometric sequence is denoted as S sub n is S sub n is equals to a sub 1 minus a sub 1 times r raised to n divided by 1 minus 4. Or S sub n is equals to a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. Again, this is the first formula, this is the second formula. And always remember, there is a condition you need to follow for using either of these two formula. R is not equal to n. Hindi pwedeng maging equal to 1 yung ating r kasi pag equal to 1 siya, magiging 0 yung divisor natin which will result to undefined. Okay, last bullet. The sum of an infinite geometric series denoted by S infinity is S infinity is equal to 1, a sub 1 minus 1 minus r. Wherein yung condition naman niya, r or the absolute value of r is less than 1. So those are the most important or the big ideas under lesson number 3. So here is the list of activities you need to answer. Please answer Let's Practice A on page 187. Answer numbers 1 to 5 only. And next one, please answer Let's Practice B on page 187. Answer numbers 11 to 15 only. So for lesson number 3, there is a total of 10 item test. And I would like to remind you that to always follow the format of what to be written or what to write in the paper or in your answer sheets before answering. Also, the schedule of submission, remind ko ulit kayo, the schedule of submission will be on next week, Thursday and Friday, October 7 and October 8. Please walang mag-ask pa na extension because we already gave you a 1 month to answer. Also, kung sakaling meron talagang malilate magpasa or may mga kulang na ipapasa, please make a checklist kung ano pa yung kailangan nyong isubmit sa mathematics or ganun din sa ibang subject. So this is the end of lesson 3. So thank you again for listening to our online discussion. See you again next week for another challenging and intriguing topic. That's all and have a nice day ahead.